and welcome to Taya Mini Reads, Reviews, Discusses, Monologues about everything and anything, and that's on period. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about some completed duologies that I think are absolutely fantastic. If you know or you don't know, I really love fantasy books. That would be like my main genre that I read a lot. And so these books will be fantasy leaning books. So let's get started. The first books will be something very different, which is Raybearer and Redemptor by Jordan Ifueko, which follows we follow Tarisai, who is a young girl who was raised in isolation by this character called the Lady. But when she becomes of age, she is sent to the capital of Olu Aritzia to be picked as one of the Crown Prince Council of 11, because basically she's supposed to kill the king or something like that. So the magic in this book is very, very phenomenal, because this Council of 11, kind of given like King Arthur's like round table, something like that. So this Council of 11, once the king or the Crown Prince decides that these are going to be his most trusted, they form a connection called the Ray. And I think through the Ray, you will be able to kill the Crown Prince. So it's very, very important that he makes the right decision about the people he is forming this bond with. So imagine having one person that's being compromised. And these are 11 people. It's a lot of people, to trust 100%. So I definitely enjoyed these books when they came out. They're not so big, but she packed a lot into the story, and I definitely recommend 100% if you like that kind of fantasy leaning book. I mean, it's really young adult, but it's not so bad. There is kind of like an insta love-ish. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but definitely, it's really, really interesting. I definitely enjoyed it. So the next book that I would recommend or I want to talk about will be Bonesmith by a very good, well-known author that I've read a lot. I've read something by her, will be Nicki Pau Preto. She wrote the Crown of Feathers series, and so this was her new book that came out last year. I think it came out recently. Bonesmith did, and Ghostsmith is the second one in the duology. So it's a two and done. It's not a long book, but Bonesmith follows Ren, where the magic is kind of very different. It kind of has to do with like bones in your body. And you see Ren is going through a trial to become a Valkyrie, which Valkyries are like warriors who protect they protect, I forgot the name of the people they protect, but the magic of this world is very, very interesting because everything has to do with elemental magic. So you have ironsmiths, you have bonesmiths, you have ghostsmiths, you have you have people that commune with the dead, kind of smith. I don't know what the name of that is, but it's young adults. Again, I don't know why I have this young adult Rex, but they're really good, guys. Like, I really enjoyed Bonesmith when it came out, and I definitely, I mean, it's obviously like a insta love because there's this guy, and then there's the grumpy guy, and then there's the other one that seems agreeable. So I don't know. It's really fun. I am yet to read Ghostsmith. Ghostsmith came out this year, but obviously it's like a YA kind of story. What I like about it the most, like I said, is just the setup, the magical, the magic of this world. The world building is very, very phenomenal. It's like such a basic thing, like ironsmith, goldsmith, like it's just making magic from regular elemental things that we already know. So it wasn't even something that she had to come up with, but it was very interesting. And Nicki Pau Preto is really good. Like, her writing is very, very phenomenal. So I definitely would recommend. Okay, so the next book that I am going to recommend as a completed duology will be The Daughter of the Moon Goddess and The Heart of the Sun Warrior. So if you're like me and you like Chinese Asian books or Asian movies where you have gods and it's like Shan Shan kind of fantasy stories where the gods have powers, they can't die, they live for like millennia, this will be right up your alley because we follow let me see. We follow Sheen, where she is she how do I say it? Her mother was the moon goddess, and her mother's story was actually pretty interesting. She was in love with like a mortal guy, a mortal man, and then through some trickery, she becomes an immortal, but it's through fraudulent means, and so the actual immortals, like the gods, don't like the mother, so they sentence her to become the moon goddess, where she has to light the moon up every night, and she has all these like duties way apart from like the regular populace. And so Sheen grows up sheltered. Not even, I don't even think she knew the depth or the extent of her parents' story, but she she goes on her own adventure where she gets entangled with the crown prince and a crown prince of the celestial kingdom and a soldier. And one thing I would say is that there's a twist in the book that really caught me by surprise. Even though I was surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. So I definitely recommend this. It's so like the covers are so beautiful, and Sue Lynn Tan, she has gone on to write other books. She has like a Tale of the Celestial Kingdom, which is like a collection of short stories in this world, in the Celestial Kingdom world. So that actually, I think, has the backstory of her mom's story. So it's very, very interesting. Like, I watch a ton of Chinese dramas. I watch Korean dramas. So whenever I saw this book and the synopsis, it definitely gave up the vibe of like a C-drama. And I definitely recommend it. There is also like a love triangle. So there's a love triangle in Daughter of the Moon Goddess. There's a love triangle in Bonesmith Ghostsmith. So, like I said, there was a twist that I wasn't expecting. So it's really, really interesting. It's completed. There's, a book of short stories, so you can also, you have more material to go on. Okay, so the last book that I wanted to recommend as a completed fantasy duology. Oh, this one is, I think it has my heart. This was like one of my top reads in 2025. So I definitely I ate it up. That's all I'm gonna say, and that would be Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. Now, this was whenever Divine Rivals came out, it was a what you call a booktube darling, where everyone was yapping a lot about the books, and I, for one, I'm not someone who really cares about I don't really care about overhyped books. But I have to say that Divine Rivals is definitely not overhyped. I mean, I prefer Divine Rivals to Ruthless Vows. This book has my heart. This is the 5-star book. This one, it was more like, okay, fine, this is how the story concludes. Okay. But this book, 5-star. Like, woo, I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, so we follow Iris and Roman. Roman. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look, Roman is I have an invisible list of perfect fictional boyfriends. Roman is probably top 3. Like, we follow this girl Iris who has a typewriter given to her by her grandmother, where if you write letters on the typewriter and you put it in like a wardrobe, there are 3 types of that typewriter that belong to 3 different women, and the typewriters are connected by magic. So her letters were getting sent to Roman, and Roman is her colleague at work who she violently hates. So bring it on. So it's like a enemies to lovers trope, but it was done phenomenally. There's fantasy in it because again, there's like a world that we kind of learn the backstory of the world, but that's not the main focus. And that was one thing I really liked about the book, even though I'm a fantasy girly. This is more magical realism, but it's done in a way that it doesn't really affect the story. Ruthless Vows is where we kind of dive deep into, okay, this is the origin of the gods. This is why they're fighting. Okay, fine, but where I want more Roman and Iris. They were so adorable. Like Iris had her own, but I definitely felt the love between the two of them, and it was just I just everyone should read it. I'm sorry, and it's not even that big. It's like less than 400 pages. So Divine Rivals was definitely a 5-star read. Ruthless Vows was close. Maybe it was like a 4-star read. I guess I just really wasn't captivated by Iris and Roman in the first book. And I think also because in Ruthless Vows, they're not together a lot of times. They're separated more than they're together. So it's like, this was the whole point of why we loved the first book. Like, don't separate them now, but you know, story's gonna story. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But those are 4 completed duologies that you can definitely get into if you like soft magic systems, and they're pretty short. It's easy to get right into them. So let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you have any other recs for duologies, fantasy duologies that are completed. It doesn't even have to be fantasy. It's just any other duologies that are completed and are interesting. But thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye.